Everybody. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon to some of you. Good evening to others. Welcome to UC San Diego's webcast, brought to you live on College Week Live. First of all, I'd like to congratulate each and every one of you who tuned in with us on your admissions into UC San Diego. Yay! Some of you probably heard my voice before. My name is Dr. Wilson. You can call me Doc. Here at the college, I know that many of you have received a call personally from me during our early calling campaign, congratulating you on your actual admissions into UC San Diego. Today is going to be a very special treat for you. We have students who are actually present-day students here at UC San Diego. And so you will have a chance to interact with them by typing in a message that you would like to have any of the students answer. I will read your question to the students, and whoever wants to answer the question will get a chance to answer it. So to get things started, I'd like for our students to introduce yourselves, tell us where you're from, which college you're a part of, what your major is, and anything else you want us to know as an introduction to who you are. So let's start with Yofi.
Hello, my name is Yofi Kwanzaa. I'm from Chino Hills, California, which is in the Inland Empire. I am in 6th College currently here at UC San Diego, and I'm an electrical engineer. That's my major. Yeah, that's presently what I'm doing right now, and yeah.
Okay, so you're part of 6th College, and you're an electrical engineer major.
Yes.
Okay, what year are you in?
I'm a first year.
First year. Okay, let's hear from Noble.
Hi everybody, my name is Noble Dwarka. I'm a second year International Studies Poli-Sci major with a minor in Chinese. Originally from New York and grew up in Atlanta as well, and made my way all the way here to sunny San Diego.
So you're from the East Coast, traveled all the way to the West Coast, and here you are in sunny San Diego. What was the temperature today?
I want to say it was 68 degrees, maybe 70 pushing it today.
It was actually 82 degrees. You were in class all day.
I was outside today. I was really convinced it was, I mean, that's so warm to me.
Okay. Okay, let's hear from Tanika.
Hi, my name is Tanika. I'm from Palmdale, California, originally LA. I'm a psychology major. I'm a 5th year, and I'm from Elmore Roosevelt.
Okay, wonderful. Camille?
Hi, my name is Camille Duncan. I'm a 3rd year Revelle student. I'm from LA. My major is Earth Science under our Scripts department. I play rugby, so if you're into sports, join women's rugby.
Okay, so you're from LA. You're from LA and you play rugby.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Very good. So we actually have 2 graduate students here with us today. Introduce yourselves. We'll start with Joshua.
Hi everyone, my name is Joshua Francois, and I am a 3rd year bioengineering PhD student.
PhD student.
Yes. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, so from the East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast.
Yes. And I work in a mechanical engineering lab, so I work in a lab outside of my department.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit later about what it's like to be here for graduate school. We also have another graduate student with us, Jomo.
Hi everyone, my name is Jomo Smith. I'm originally from Jamaica via New York and Florida. I'm a PhD student here in modern Chinese history, 20th century Chinese history. This is I think my 6+ year. So I'm nearing the end, currently writing my dissertation, and going to go into the real world of work and all the rest. So.
Okay, congratulations to all of you all for being here, for being successful students, and also for representing UC San Diego well. Okay, so I'd like to just know from anyone who wants to start, what other colleges did you apply to, and what other colleges and universities were you accepted into, and why did you choose UC San Diego? Who wants to start?
I guess I'll start since I'm laughing. I applied to other UCs. I applied to UC Berkeley, UCLA, and UC San Diego. I didn't apply to any schools in Georgia. I applied to NYU, a few Ivy League schools, and pretty much it came down to sort of an offer at NYU versus UC San Diego, and I chose UC.
Okay, so you applied to about 6 schools?
I want to say 7 or 8.
Okay, and how did you go about choosing UC San Diego?
Well, I picked temperature because I'm very sensitive. There's a reason we left New York. Yeah, I'm not a fan of cold weather, and I know the sunshine makes me happy. So weather was definitely a big part of it. I wanted a new experience. SoCal, I've never been to California before, so it's kind of on blind faith.
Okay, so you avoided the winter of 2013-2014,
I sure did.
where New York and Baltimore and other places experienced 32 inches of snow and more. How much snow do we have here in San Diego?
None.
None. Okay, all righty. Okay, who else? Where else did you apply? Let's hear from Camille.
I applied to Berkeley, Santa Barbara, and Irvine, Penn State, Spelman.
Okay.
I think I applied to some Ivy Leagues and Duke. I didn't get into Duke.
Okay.
And it was in between here, Spelman and Penn State.
Okay.
I did the overnight program for UCSD, and that's what really sold me to come here.
Oh, you did? So you came for the overnight?
Yeah,
Okay. How was that for you?
I loved it. It was really fun. I
Okay.
liked the environment of BSU, like the kind of, I don't know, I just liked the way that everyone meshed together. A lot of the problems that they were talking about that they faced as like Black students on campus, I liked the action that they were going towards instead of just complaining. They were like, these are ways that we're changing and fighting back, and I like that. And then it's not too far from LA, but it's far enough.
Okay. So you wanted to get out of LA?
Yeah, I wanted to go out of the state. This was the closest furthest school that I applied to, if that makes sense.
Okay. And how do you compare LA to San Diego?
I would say that San Diego is just kind of like a little more calmer version of LA.
Mhm.
People think that it's a lot smaller than it is, but it's really divided into a whole bunch of cities just like LA is. But I think it's a little more calm. But I
Okay.
like it.
I mean, it's like one of the #1 places in the world to come for vacation. Some
Yeah.
people feel like in San Diego you're on vacation every day. Is that?
In La Jolla, yeah.
And we're located right here in La Jolla, so it feels like you're on vacation. It's nice.
Wake up
Okay.
to the beach.
Okay. Tanika, how about you? Where else did you apply?
I applied to UC Berkeley, UCLA, UC Davis, Santa Cruz, Santa Barbara, here obviously, and Howard.
Okay. And then how did you go about choosing UC San Diego?
Well, it wasn't my first. Okay, financial aid.
Okay, so financial aid. Okay. All right, so they offered you a pretty good financial
Yeah.
aid package?
Yeah, it was the best package.
Okay, okay. All right, so who haven't we heard from who's an undergraduate?
Well, I applied to UCSD, UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC Irvine, Notre Dame, and Stanford. Yeah. But it came down to Notre Dame and UC San Diego, and it was also financial aid too. The school offered me a little bit more, so
Okay.
I chose to do that.
Okay, great. Did you visit UC San Diego before you actually
Yeah.
came as a freshman?
Yeah, I visited UC San Diego and UC Santa Barbara, and I liked San Diego better, so I crossed Santa Barbara off the list, and I got my admission from Notre Dame, so like it kind of caused a little controversy, so I turned in my FAFSA there, and then they didn't really give me that much, so I
Okay.
chose to do that.
Okay, good. And we have 2 graduate students again. So you did your undergraduate work somewhere else. Where was that? And then how did you choose UC San Diego for your graduate work?
Okay, I guess I'll begin. My undergraduate was at Johns Hopkins, which is in Baltimore, Maryland, years ago now. And for the PhD program, when you're doing a PhD program, you often target based on the type of research that you want to do and the specific professors that you want to work with. And in a very specialized field, which most PhD programs are, there are going to be few schools that you're going to apply to. So for a PhD program, I think I only applied to like 3 or 4 places. They're all very top-ranked programs. UC San Diego is one of the best programs for Chinese history. They gave me a nice package. They recruited me heavily. Took me to La Jolla Cove, the beach as part of the recruitment. You know, it's all, the weather here is definitely part of the sales package for living in Southern California. And yeah, so it's
So the palm trees that are behind you, that's real.
yes, it is real. It is real. Yes, I mean,
Those are.
not, right? I mean, we do have them
Okay.
in spades.
And that was part of your decision making.
Yeah, I mean the opportunity in terms of working with the premier professors that we have here at this program, and then also being in Southern California. I mean, I'd never experienced a place like this before, so there was some unique opportunities for that.
Okay, UC San Diego looks pretty good on your resume, right?
Certainly, yeah. Certainly. It's I mean, in terms of my specific program, our students when we graduate do very well in the job market. We have just a very nice name recognition and reputation. So.
Okay, Joshua, how did you go about choosing? Where'd you go for undergraduate, and how'd you land here in San Diego?
Okay, so for undergraduate, I went to the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, which is also in Baltimore, and I studied mechanical engineering. And for grad school, I went to something different from what I did for undergrad. For undergrad, I didn't really apply to that many schools, but for grad school, I tried to apply to 6 or 7 schools, and they were pretty much the top schools in the field of bioengineering. UCSD at the time was number 2. So
Number 2 in the country, number 2 in the world?
Number 2 in the country for bioengineering.
Wow.
Most likely, I mean, it should be in the top of the world too. So I ended up getting accepted to UC San Diego, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and University of North Carolina. So I visited all 3 schools, but the thing that made me choose UCSD is 1, it was ranked higher than the other schools, and 2, I had been to UCSD in my 3rd year doing summer undergrad research. So I really liked the environment. I really liked California. It was my first time coming to California. And also I was recruited heavily as well. There are a number of people who knew me from before and they really wanted me to come.
So you chose to become a Triton instead of a Saluki, right? Saluki is the University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, right? Okay, alrighty. So what are you finding about the college, UC San Diego? What do you like about it? What activities are you involved in? So what do you like about it, and what extracurricular activities are you involved in? You mentioned that you're involved in rugby.
Yes, I'm the captain of the UCSD women's rugby team. We're actually number 1 in our division this year.
Oh wow!
I would say that.
Did you play rugby? Did you play rugby in high school?
No, I started playing when I got here.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's not that hard to pick up.
And you're the captain. Okay.
But I would say that UCSD honestly did take like some getting used to. I had to get warmed up to it, but I feel like once you find the people that you mesh well with, then it becomes a lot easier. You feel like you have a lot of support. So I was involved with NSBE while I was still an engineer.
What's NSBE?
The National Society of Black Engineers. When I was an engineer still, I was involved with NSBE. Did some work with BSU and with rugby.
What's BSU?
Sorry, there's a lot of acronyms. The Black Student Union.
Okay.
So once I started to find the spaces where I felt comfortable, and not that I was exclusively only in those spaces, but just to know that I have some support coming from different organizations, that's what really made me more comfortable at UCSD.
Okay. Even though you're not using it as an acronym, what spaces?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure what spaces stand for.
Okay. All right.
Promoted access.
So it's another place on campus where students can go and be relaxed and be themselves. Okay. So let's see. Tanika, tell us a little bit more about some of the extracurricular activities that you're involved in.
I'm involved in the African Student Association. I'm the historian, so I take all the pictures, record all the events. I'm also the historian for BSU, Black Student Union. I'm the fundraising coordinator for Awareness Action for Autism. It's Autism Awareness Month, so research that. Other than that, I'm a shuttle driver.
You're a shuttle driver?
Yes, I am.
So you get paid to drive the shuttle around campus?
Yes.
How'd you apply for that?
You just turn in your driving history. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And I'm also an orientation leader for Eleanor Roosevelt, so I'm kind of involved in a lot.
Okay. Yofi?
Well, I don't have any positions in any of the orgs I'm in, but I'm currently involved in Black Student Union as well, and African Student Association as well too, and NSBE, which is the National Society for Black Engineers, and Black BCM, which is Black Campus Ministry, which is just a space for Black students to go and explore Christian faith. Yeah, so those are the activities I'm involved in. Oh, also I do intramural basketball. So, yeah.
Okay, do you want to talk a little bit more about the Black Student Union, Black Student Resource Center? Maybe shout out Stacia Solomon.
Oh yeah. The Black Student Union is really just a great place for Black students to go and or the Black Resource Center, my bad, is a great space for Black students to go hang out and just meet different people and just bond as like just sort of a family because there's not that many of us here. So just for that purpose, just a bond as a family is what the Black Resource Center is there for. And then our leader of the Black Resource Center is Stacia Solomon, which he mentioned, and yeah, she's a really great leader, and she really puts on great events. So yeah, shout out to her.
Okay. No, also you're doing a lot of things in addition to being a great student here. You're also a student leader, and I found out this past weekend you're also a talented musician.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, do you want me to tell?
Yeah. What are you doing other than studying?
Okay, what I do other than studying? I'm in the Black Student Union as well. I also attend African Student African Student Association meetings as well. Part of APSA, which is the Asian Pacific Islander Student Alliance on campus as well. I did gymnastics spec classes for about a year now.
Here?
Yep, here. UCSD.
Wow.
You could take rec classes and anything, like you could do kendo classes with the wooden sword, which is long. And I did gymnastics. I recently started boxing.
Wow. Here on campus?
Off campus.
Okay,
But there are boxing rec classes on campus as well.
Okay. So there are plenty of things to do on campus and off campus.
And off campus.
How often do you get off campus?
Every day.
Okay. Every day. Okay.
I live off campus, so
You live off
it's
campus?
part of my lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay. How long have you lived off campus?
This is my first starting beginning of winter quarter, so January, when I came back from China.
Oh, okay. 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 And Tanika, you are a transfer student, right? So tell us about that.
The process?
Yeah. So you went to another school before coming here. Tell us.
So I went to Howard for a couple of years before coming here. I transferred in. As a transfer student, you get a different experience because you're already detached from the university. So I came in, I lived off campus, and I had to really outreach to feel connected to the community here. So I just forced myself to go stand next to a random person and say, "Hi, I'm Tanika. Can I be your friend?" Basically, because I'm living off campus, I have no connection. So it's harder for transfer students to feel like they belong here, so you really have to go out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm. And you live off campus.
I live off campus.
Okay, and what's that like? I mean, is it hard to get into study groups and that type of thing? Is it more of a challenge?
I find that I study best alone,
Okay.
but it's not that hard because you do all that in class. So you'll find someone in class and you can just work together. I prefer living off campus because La Jolla isn't like representative of what San Diego is. So I get reminded that I'm living in San Diego and I go to school in La Jolla.
Okay. And you're all here because you're academically very smart. Okay, so what's it like academically here? Is it a challenge? Are you doing okay? Are you barely surviving? What's it like? Be honest. Who wants to go first?
I can answer.
Okay.
I guess from a graduate,
Okay.
graduate student perspective, it's a very competitive environment. Not in the sense that people are trying to sabotage you or anything like that, but just you're surrounded by a lot of people who know a lot, and people who come from maybe better schools or they're better trained in whatever field they are. So even though it can be a little frustrating at times, it's actually very encouraging because it gives you a lot of motivation to lift, raise your game up, or do better. So I actually like it. I like this environment.
And so was it easy to get into study groups, lab groups? Do you have lab groups that you are part of?
It was easy. I think it was easier for me to get into a lab group because I already have been with those people.
Mm-hmm.
But for the other people who weren't in previous labs, it was pretty easy for them too. And most of the people, at least in my department, they're pretty friendly and it's kind of small, so it was easy to find study groups as well.
Okay. Now I know the graduate program is different from the undergraduate program. For those of you who are undergraduate students, how large are the classes?
think it depends on your major.
Yeah.
So it depends on the major.
Very
Okay.
much so.
So in your major, remind us what your major is and talk about the class size.
I'm psychology, so we have a lot of 300 plus classrooms, even upper division, because almost any major can take psychology upper division classes, so it's always impacted.
And what does impacted mean? That it's crowded or
I would say I don't know if
sold
it's
out?
like-
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you have some classes that have 300 students in the
And
classroom.
then some that has like 30. It's actually like, because I've done upper division, so I only have 2 classes that have ever been in psychology department that's have only 30 to 40 people. And
Okay.
it's just rare, because I'm in upper division class and it has it's 412 right now.
Wow. So do
Every
you get lost in the classroom or do you have your own identity?
No, you can't, it's really hard to have a voice in a
Okay.
classroom size of 412. So you really have to like go out of your comfort zone and go to office hours, and you really want the professor to know who you are, because you're going to get lost in the sea of people.
Okay. So the more you get into your major, the smaller the classes become, depending on the major.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And so like, okay, so how's it for you, Noble?
Well, my major is international studies, poli
Okay.
sci, and I also take Chinese class as well because I'm a Chinese studies minor. My classes are not, it depends. So there are some classes that have a cap of like 200 students, lecture halls. But in general, my classes usually are around 30 to 40 students.
Okay, all right.
Well, I'm an engineering major, so I'm in first year, so I haven't really taken any like upper divs or anything like that. So I'm taking mostly physics and math. And, those are always full because we have a lot of science majors here. So yeah, so you would see 300 plus lecture halls, and yeah, the professor trying to talk to all 300 people. You know, yeah, the lecture hall crowded and everything. So.
So you took did all of you take AP classes in high school?
Yes.
How did they help you and what difference did it make?
I wish I would have taken more.
Okay, how many did you take?
I took 5 AP classes, but I took 4 AP tests.
Okay,
Yeah, I took calculus AB, calculus BC, physics B, and American history.
okay.
Yeah, so I wish I would have taken more because to get some credit for some GEs, but yeah, sometimes I like taking the GE classes here because you get to meet new professors and meet new people, which you know, you could explore out of your major, and not just restricted just engineering in my case, or you know, in the science major's case, whatever their major is. So
Okay. Who else? Tanika?
Yeah, I took AP in high school as well. I feel like the course load in AP is not exactly the same, but it prepares you for what the course load here is, because nobody's holding your hand in AP classes, and no one holds your hand here. So it prepares you for taking on more by yourself.
Okay, okay.
I agree.
I can comment a little bit on that. I mean, it's been a while for me from undergrad, but I don't think that much has changed. I think certainly if you have AP, or in Florida we had something called dual enrollment, which is where I actually was enrolled in a college, the nearby community college, and taking classes and then getting credit for it. I mean, it certainly prepares you for college, but it is going to be very different because the difference is, I mean, for all intents and purposes, high school is actually really easy. Or at least I thought it was easy, and then you get to college, and not only are you juggling 4 or 5 classes, but you know, if you tend to be involved in a lot of different things. When I was in college, I had work study, I had a job. I mean, you know, my parents, I didn't come from money, so I needed work study. And so, you know, life is very busy, and you're trying to deal with all of your classes. So it becomes really, really challenging. And obviously in college, you're given a lot of work to do. So, and the one thing that's unique about the UC system, all the UCs except for Berkeley, is that we have a quarter system here. Now, as a graduate student, I teach undergrads, and so I've gotten a sense of how it is for undergrads. So when you have to sort of synthesize a lot of material in 10 weeks, you know, that's really challenging. If you go to a school that has a semester system, some universities that could be anywhere from 13 to 16 weeks, you know, so you have all that same amount of material spread out over a long period. And when I have, for example, when I have to teach that same amount of material in 10 weeks, I mean, that's even a lot for the professor. So having a 10-week course means you really do have to work very hard. It's not impossible. Obviously people do it, but that is something that, you know, one does have to keep in mind.
Okay, we have a question from Philip in Dallas. He's asking, what's it like on a weekend Do you party? Okay. Anyone want to talk about the social life here? Are you partying much or what?
Okay, you wanna? I'll let you go. Camila.
So I would say, like, I know when I was applying to UCSD, I heard UC socially dead. And like, if I would have friends come visit me on the weekends and they would walk around and be like, it's Friday, like, what's up? But I feel like directly on campus, sometimes it can seem a little like dry. And if you're just walking around, like, not making any friends, not meeting any people, then you are gonna have a boring time. It may take a little more work to like you have to kind of search for your fun, but you don't have to search too far. So like, it's just meeting the right people. And I have a lot of fun.
Okay.
I feel like it all comes down to, if you're gonna come in with the attitude like, oh, this school is boring, like it sucks, no one does anything on the weekends, and that's the experience that you're gonna have. But I would consider myself a kind of social person. So I meet people, hi, how are you doing? Like, oh, you live in Mira Mesa, so do I. Like, what's going on in Mira Mesa? That's a city in San Diego. Like, you live in I House, so do I. Like, what's going on over there? So just meeting people, making connections, and you'll have a good time. There's something for everyone.
Okay.
I agree.
Noble?
I totally agree with everything Camille just said. You find you make time for fun. You find a way to have fun, which I think is a skill too, in and of itself. There are some times where you'd be like, okay, nothing's happening this Friday, but sometimes all you want to do is sleep after you've had a long week. Like, I know I just love, like, sometimes like Friday nights I'm out, but I will say I've had the best experiences when it comes to hanging out on the weekends. I have some cracking house parties that I've been to. I've been to TJ 3 times. TJ is only 45 minutes away. I'm just being real. Like,
And what's TJ?
Tijuana. I didn't say you're supposed to go there. But
That's Mexico.
Now we're really close to Mexico, right?
Yes.
I mean, how long does it take to get there?
About
You
30
can be there in about a half hour.
30 minutes, 40 minutes, go across the board, all the fun you want. But I'd be safe.
Be safe. Right. So, I mean, how are you all getting around on campus? Now, I know we have a shuttle bus driver, right? So, how are you getting around? It's a large campus. How do you get from building to building? What's your, how do you get around? You're walking, okay?
I think bicycles are great. When I was TAing and I had to go from like lecture to my class as TAing, I got a bike, and this campus is really huge, and yeah, a bike is very useful. A lot of students here also skateboard. There's really interesting skateboarding culture here that I didn't have at my undergrad, so that's also a useful sort of mode of transportation.
Okay, any skateboarders in here? No. How are you getting around? So you used to skateboard?
Yeah.
Why did you
Well,
stop?
not in college when I was like in 6th grade. But, right now I usually walk or ride my bike.
Okay. How's the food here?
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Should I
Yeah.
talk about it?
Yeah.
It could be better.
Mm-hmm.
And
You have a lot of choices, right?
yes, there's a lot of choices and price center. But I will say you all are getting Starbucks lemongrass, which is another which is better food next year. They do have every Tuesday they have this farmers market, so there's like Ethiopian food and then you're in San Diego, so I mean, like, if I love Mexican food, like I live off campus, I'll just hit up Vallarta's and I get myself a burrito, some guacamole, I'm good. So you can get around it. Food on campus though, you'll find yourself leaving campus more for the good stuff.
Anyone else? Food?
I think college campuses, I've been to a few now, like the food is never going to be like amazing unless you like went to Cornell where they have like a housing and dining school and so they actually cook for their students. But beyond that, like every other college, the food's going to suck. So, I mean, or at least be just average. So, but yeah, I mean, there's, decent options here. There are a lot of cafeterias and I enjoy the one that's called Pines, which is near my apartments in Muir. I actually like the food there. Some people don't, but I actually like it. And there are a lot of other, restaurants on campus. And as Noble was saying, if you are mobile, there's San Diego just, is sort of like a foodie paradise. There's really lots of options in San Diego for food. Yeah.
And Joshua, you went somewhere else for undergraduate. How's the food here compared to where you went?
Oh, it's much better.
Yeah. They just don't know.
So,
Okay.
I mean, it's all relative, but I think like he was saying, pretty much all college campuses, you're gonna find either chain restaurants or you're gonna, I don't know, have some off-brand restaurants that aren't that good.
So, I mean, what chain restaurants are here on campus?
There's Rubio's.
Rubio's,
Yeah.
Burger King,
Subway.
Subway,
Panda Express.
yeah, Panda Express.
Jamba.
Yeah, a lot of Greek food, a lot of Indian food,
Burger King.
Chinese food, Burger King. Okay.
Bombay, oh, don't-
Starbucks,
Crouton.
croutons. Okay. So the food is, you know, you manage it. Does anyone cook for yourselves?
Yes, all the
Okay.
time.
All right. So let's again. So there's 6 colleges within the university, right? And so, which college do you represent, or were you a resident, and why did you choose that college? Let's start with Camille.
I'm a Rebel student. I honestly don't remember why I picked Rebel, and I asked myself that sometimes. Rebel, like usually when you tell someone like, "Oh, I'm in Rebel," they're like, "Really?" It's just that we have a lot of GEs. I think it's because
What are
they want
GEs?
their general education
Requirements. Okay.
requirements. They, from what I learned, is that it's because they want the students in Rebel to know a little bit about everything, and that's cool. It's just that when you're a science major and you have to take 5 quarters of humanities, it's kind of like why, but the classes can be pretty interesting. Like I'm in humanities 5 right now. It's the most interesting human out of all of them to me. So.
Okay. Yofi.
For me, I'm in 6 college, and honestly, on my application, I just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it just
Feels like a random generator.
like a random thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I got picked for 6 college, and our GEs on our general education classes aren't too bad. We have to take 3 quarters of what we call it's CAT, which is culture, art, and technology. So you just learn about the human history or modern art or technology and how they all relate. So that's not too bad, and I actually do like my college. Even though people say it's a little bit far from like where the main hub of the campus is, but I mean it's only like a 5-7 minute walk from like where you're gonna find the main center of the campus. So it's not too bad.
How many roommates do you have?
I have 2 roommates, so I'm in a triple.
And did you know them before you came here, or you met them when you got here?
I met them when I got here.
How's that going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we're my whole suite actually is we're pretty close and pretty bonded. So
Okay.
yeah.
And so did you like Facebook them or anything before you got here, or you just showed up and there they were?
He actually Facebooked me. And
Okay.
he told me, "Oh, I think we're gonna be roommates," and then I was like, "Oh, for sure." So I, we had a conversation, had a conversation and everything, and then yeah, we just got to know each other over Facebook.
Is he black or is he a different race or what?
We actually have a pretty diverse room. We have
Okay.
me obviously black. My roommate is Mexican, and my other roommate's white. So you have the whole.
Yeah. So I mean, what are you learning? What are you learning about yourself, and what are you learning about other cultures?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't really think of it like that. I just
Okay.
think of it as in just a broad perspective of how we could all come together, maybe study, because we're all engineers in that room. So
Okay.
we all study and we all use different perspectives on like how to study and everything. So I've actually picked up some study tips from my roommates
Okay.
and everything like that. So I mean, we all learn from each other in a way.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else living on campus? Well, I know that anyone have an on-campus college experience, and maybe not now. Noble.
I did my first year.
Okay.
And
Which college?
I was at Warren College.
Okay. What was it like?
I was put in an apartment, so it was a good experience to have my own kitchen and things like that. I had 3 other roommates. It was 2 doubles. Now I'm living off campus in a single, my own bathroom, and I just shared an apartment with like a couple other people
Okay.
because I wasn't about that on-campus life. So.
Okay. Okay. So your roommates were they black or were they?
No.
Okay. Okay. So,
I had one roommate was white. He's also from Texas.
Okay.
Well, I'm not from Texas, but yeah, the other person I did ask was from Texas.
okay.
He was from Texas. I had a friend. Other roommate was from India,
Okay.
and the other roommate was from Korea.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you all live off campus now, right? Do you live by yourselves or you have roommates?
Housemates.
I kind of live on campus housing, but it's off campus.
Okay, tell us about that as a graduate student.
So it's so in the graduate program there are several, I guess, apartment complexes that they have set aside for us, and they're all, except with the exception of one, off campus, but it's still considered campus housing. So what that means is that when you go outside, you're not going to see the school, but you're going to see students. You're going to see students from UCST. You're going to meet other students, other graduate students, and med school and farm school students.
Okay.
So right now I live in one of those apartments. It's close by, but it's also close by the beach. I have a really nice view of the beach here, and I live with my girlfriend.
Okay, okay. And how far are we away from the beach?
Walking distance.
Okay, so you can walk to the beach. Does anyone go to the beach? You go, okay, okay. So you're going to the beach. What do any of you feel homesick? Did you ever feel homesick? How did you get over it? No. Okay.
My first year, I felt a little homesick because it was a small transition going from the East Coast to the West Coast. It's just a few cultural differences and things that I had to get adjusted to, but it was a wonderful experience. I'm very grateful for it. And how did I get over that? By getting to meet new people. Everyone is going to be separated from their loved ones. It's a time to be independent, to really get to know yourself. So just go out and make friends and be involved. I think that's the best way to cure homesickness.
Okay, Tanika?
Yeah, my very first year at Howard, I was homesick. I think it was more because I went straight to living off campus in a house with a woman I didn't know. So it was like, I'm serious. So literally, like, I was by myself. So I was sitting there in my room going, I want my mom. So I would just call her a lot. And then I got over it because I got a job. I was on campus more. So it was like, I was busy. And I think I just made myself busy. I stopped thinking about not being home. And I didn't want to go back home.
Okay. Yeah. Anyone else? Homesickness? No? Okay. So did any of you change your majors? Okay. Camille?
I entered as structural engineering with a minor in earth science. And then I sort of kind of combined the two once I started to figure out more of the route that I wanted to go in. So I went into environmental engineering, and I stayed there. Like, I switched immediately before I started any classes or anything. And I was in environmental engineering, and that was cool. I had like the help of Oasis, and I was going to NESB and stuff, but I really still didn't feel like that was exactly what I wanted to do as far as engineering. And so I went to go talk to the head of the Earth Science Department under Scripps, which is Scripps Institute of Oceanography.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just really, really friendly, really welcoming. They helped me pick out all the classes that I need to take to when I graduate. They told me about opportunities to do research in the lab and everything. And when I really was just sitting there just having like a very informal conversation with the head of the department about what kind of research I wanted to do and what I really wanted to focus on, what I really wanted to study, like, he really helped pinpoint me in the right direction. So I found that like really welcoming. And then once I started to take my major classes, like I've loved every SIO class that I take. And if you're in Scripps, you get to take classes on the beach. So
nice.
Our main campus still here is really close to the beach, but Scripps is even closer. It's like really close. So like literally you look out the window and the beach is just right there. And then a lot of the times the professors will have you like go in your classes, literally you're walking on the beach because that's a lot of the things that we study. So I really like it.
Okay, Victor from LA is asking, what is your typical day like in terms of your class schedule? Like, how many classes do you have a day? Do you have classes every day?
That's a wonderful question. It's not like high school.
Okay, I mean, so how's it different from high school?
Well, high school was 8 hours straight. I don't know how I did that. I can't go back to taking class. So for example, today I only have 3 classes. You pick it. They have different time slots. They range from 50 minutes of class to about 3 hours of class. I usually have one 50-minute class and a couple hour 20-minute classes. And they're not every day. I have like maybe my Tuesdays are off and Thursdays are off. It really depends on whatever schedule you pick, but it's not going to be like high school.
Okay. Anyone else? Like, what's your daily schedule like? Tanika?
My schedule's busy, but okay. So I have 2 3-hour classes this quarter, and then two 50 minutes. So my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I have 2 classes in the morning from 9 to 11. And then I also have a class on Mondays from 2 to 5. And then Tuesdays from 6 to 9 p.m. And I work, okay, so this is just tomorrow. Tomorrow I work from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I have no class. And then, but I have 2 org meetings, so my day would end around like 9, 10 p.m. And on average, like, well, it depends on how you're busy. I take 4 classes every quarter. Most people take 3. So if you take 3 classes and you can take 50-minute classes, you basically only have class Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it feels really open. Or you can have class only Tuesday, Thursday, which are 20-minute classes, and you really have your entire week. So.
Okay. Well, we also, again, we have 2 graduate students here, and so 2 very strong role models on campus. What is the difference between undergraduate and graduate school? And then, is graduate school for everyone? What motivated you to go on to try to get your doctoral degree? Let's start with Jomo.
Yeah. I think one way to describe graduate school is sort of like the old guilds that you may have studied or heard about in Europe, in the sense that you're being, you're under the tutelage of this master, right? And you're studying with this person and being molded by him or her to become, something. And that's kind of the way I feel graduate school is. I mean, because you are working very close, hand in hand with your PI, as they say in the sciences, principal investigator, or with your advisor, or might be 1 or 2 different professors. And so it is obviously a much higher level than undergrad in terms of the depth that you're going into your work, the responsibility that's given to you. As I said earlier, that we do teach undergrads as grad students. Sometimes you also get the option to TA as an undergrad as well. But when you have that responsibility, it does sort of change your view of the way the university functions, and so it's a different ball of wax. What leads someone to go to graduate school, I think the most important question is really if you love research. I mean, if you find within your undergrad experience, and certainly this is something that I think UCSD encourages for its undergrad, is to get involved with research. And if you find that you have a knack for research, you like it, and it could be in the sciences or what I do, which is more of the humanities, social sciences base, but if you have a knack for it, you have a talent for it, and you believe that you have something to contribute to society regarding research, then I think grad school is for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joshua.
I think you answered it well, but I guess I'll just add in terms of what the difference is between undergrad and graduate school. I guess if you start from high school, going from high school to college, you're going to be learning maybe the same topics, but a lot more material in those subjects. And then when you go from college to graduate school, you're going to be studying the same things that you studied in college, but at a much, 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 much more detailed level. And you're going to be responsible for understanding it at a deeper level. So I'd say that's the difference between undergrad and grad school. And to echo what he said about why you would want to go to graduate school, I think it's if you love research. So me personally, I hope to be a professor one day, and this is the track that I need to take for that.
So you want to become a college professor?
Yes, a college professor.
Right.
And doing research, having my own kind of lab. So this is pretty much a training. It's a period of training for that kind of career path. So if you love research, then graduate school will be for you.
Okay, so both of your undergraduate experiences, does it seem like yesterday, or did it seem like it took a long time to get through it? How was it?
I think mine went by really fast. I loved my undergrad. I had a great experience. Interestingly, it was not my first choice. I really actually didn't want to go there. My parents forced me to go there because they gave me more money. I wanted to go to this other school, but I ended up, was having a wonderful time and have made great friends, from that college experience. And yeah, it did go by fast. I mean, college, it's trite. People say this, it's the greatest 4 years of your life. I mean, that may or may not be true, but you do meet a lot of amazing people in undergrad. And you do have a lot of opportunity to try different things, right? In terms of, different majors, I think was mentioned earlier about trying different majors. I mean, you have to be careful in terms of, you don't want to perhaps extend your graduation date too long, but depending on how GEs work out, you can fool around with different majors, get involved. I mean, I think that's one of the greatest things I tried to do in undergrad, got involved in a lot of different things, a lot of different clubs and organizations, and through that, you learn about yourself, you learn about the world. And yeah, so what's all that?
Josh?
For me, undergrad was kind of long.
Long, okay.
Kind of long. Mostly, I think because I ended up taking on a minor that was pretty intense, and required a lot of like intense courses. And I ended up spending 5 years for undergrad to study mechanical engineering. But even though it felt long, back then, time did go by fast. And I would say if I have any advice, it's to use your time wisely when you first get into college, especially that first year. Make sure that you hit the ground running and make sure you start studying for your classes as soon as you get here and keeping up with them, because before you know it, the first quarter is going to be over, the first year, the first 2 years, and you don't want to be in a situation where you want to try and make up for what happened in the first quarter or the first year. So time goes by really fast when you're actually in college.
Okay, we have another question. This question is coming from Detroit. So Mary is asking, what will each of you do with your degree once you graduate? Okay, let's start with Yofi.
All right. Well, as for me, would hope to get a degree in electrical engineering, but I want to focus on more of a mechanical aspect of it, more control or machinery or robotics. I would hope to. I haven't really thought about graduate school yet, but as I go through my undergrad and maybe do have some chance to research and see how I like research, I'll make my decision based on that. But yeah, as for just getting my degree and going into a specialized field of electrical engineering, that's kind of the route I want to take.
Okay, Camille.
So my major is earth science, which is kind of like geology. I'm really interested in natural disasters, specifically like volcanology, plate tectonics, earthquakes. So that's pretty much what I want to do. I want to go into depth with studying natural disasters.
Are you going to get?
Probably do a little bit of work with like thermal energy. I also want to do like a little work on the side with environmental racism as well.
Okay. Okay, Noble.
Well, I'm international studies poli-sci and minoring in Chinese, and I'm really interested in law school currently. I'm pursuing international law or entertainment law, even though those are completely different from one another. But yes, law affects every aspect of our life. I'm very interested in understanding how to control that, lobby, fight against whatever laws that are discriminatory in practice, all that. I'm very interested in.
Okay. Tanika?
My major is psychology, so I'm going to take a year off now to graduate this spring. Then I'm going to try to get my psychology doctorate in behavioral analysis to work specifically with people with mental disorders. And then in the long run, I'm going to create my own nonprofit for underrepresented communities to promote education and awareness about mental disorders, particularly autism.
Okay, okay. Josh?
So I'm currently getting my PhD in bioengineering, and at least in the sciences, the next step is typically do what's called a postdoc, which is 2 to 4 years, another research opportunity or another research experience, doing something maybe that's similar or that's something a little bit different, and it's supposed to prepare me further for a career in academia or career as a professor.
Okay. Jomo?
Again, I study Chinese history, so generally speaking, most of us go into academia so we become professors, and that is one option I'm toying with. The other, because I study China, there's a lot of interest in people like me in terms of U.S. government work, and so there are various different agencies that would be interested in someone like me that I would be interested in working for, and then also various types of consulting that I can do for companies like McKinsey and so forth. So those are some of the options that I've toyed with.
Okay, I think both you and Noble mentioned Chinese studies or having a desire to do some international things.
Right.
Have any of you studied abroad? And those of you who haven't, are you thinking about it? So if you have, where did you go? What was it like? And then for those of you who haven't done it yet, are you thinking about it? And then what does the whole international experience mean to you? Is it part of your future? Let's start with who studied abroad. Okay, Noble.
I studied abroad in China recently. I was there for 6 months the summer of 2013 to the end of 2013. So it's 6 months, and it was an amazing experience. And this guy right here, Jomo, advised me because he's been to China a long time ago. Like the same. And he gave me amazing advice. It was probably one of the best, most memorable, life-changing experiences of my life. And let's see, I did it early on. I didn't expect to study abroad so quickly. I studied abroad the beginning of my second year. I'm currently second year here at UCSD. And yeah, I don't know, is there anything else?
So this is your second year and you've already studied
I've
abroad?
already studied abroad.
It's amazing.
And I recommend, don't let finances get in the way of it, don't let fear get in the way of it, especially for non-traditional study abroad locations such as China. There's like tons of money just thrown at you to study abroad in places like these. And their UCEAP programs and your grant aid, whatever your package is, is transferred directly to that program. And sometimes it's less. So China costs less than UCC, and I get to pocket all the extra money and travel around and have an extravagant life. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And Jomo, you said you went
Yeah,
there a long time ago, right?
Yeah, my first time in China, yes, was a long time
Oh.
ago. I started studying Chinese in my second year of college.
Can you say something in Chinese?
我们希望你们都能来到我的学校。
Exactly.
Yeah. So what I said was, we hope that you all come to UCSD.
Okay.
And
Noble,
yeah.
you want to say something in Chinese?
我同意，我觉得这个加州大学，就是加州大学圣地亚哥是一个非常好的大学，我们欢迎你来。
特别美丽，请过来。
Wow, wonderful.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. So I was saying, yeah, my study abroad experience. I started taking Chinese my second year of college, and I just really wanted to go, and was able to find a little bit of money. I had to take out some loans to go my first time. But as Noble said, yeah, particularly now, when I went, there wasn't as much money. Now there's like even more money particularly because the U.S. government does want more people to study these non-traditional languages. If you're trying to go to Europe, not going to be as easy. But if you are trying to go to Africa or Asia, yeah, there's a lot of money from the U.S. government to help you do that.
Okay. Who has not studied abroad but wants to? No? Okay. Camille?
I would like to study abroad, but probably like a spring break or summer program.
Yeah.
I couldn't personally see myself going there for a whole quarter or semester.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would just want to go somewhere exotic to study like the geology there.
Okay.
But I haven't thought of a place yet. I'm supposed to be going next week to talk to the international advisor.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, so we're down to our last 8 minutes. Okay. So just individually, can you talk about for those who are like tuning in with us, who are trying to make a decision about UC San Diego, what's your advice, and what can you share with them in helping them to make the decision to come here to UCSD?
It's deep.
Okay, who wants to start? Okay.
I say I know the campus was built in like 1960 or whatever, but I say it's fairly ripe, a fairly ripe opportunity here, because we do have some great alumni and everything like that, but I feel like UC San Diego is a place you could establish yourself and really just leave your name here, because all the other private, a lot of the other private colleges like Stanford or all the Ivy Leagues, they already have like that really established name and everything like that. But I feel like if students come here, especially if they're science majors or any major, they can really just leave their mark here and really just make put UCSD on the map pretty much.
Okay, Noble.
I want to echo everything that you just said. I think UCSD has accomplished a lot in the past. It's a very, very young school, only about over 50 years old. And, 50 years old, wow. It's very young, and for the amount that it's accomplished, I think it's extraordinary, and to be part of history and being a Black student in higher ed is revolutionary. So I think there's so much to accomplish here at this university. You really have to seize your opportunities, and there are days that it's a struggle. You're like, dang, I have to go to this class, but counting just having this conversation and thinking about all the things that I've done in the past 2 years of me being here is a blessing and a dream come true, and there are ways to get whatever you want done at UCSD. So that's why I would encourage you to come here.
Okay. Tanika?
So I want to talk about the academic side because we kind of handle that. I think socially wise, because our Black community is so small, there's more of a family vibe here, or if you make it into one. So I feel like you'll have great relationships here. Like I met when I really got into it, some of my best friends I can actually see being lifelong friends here, and I just think that's a great experience to have in college.
Okay. Okay. Did you go yet, Camille? Camille?
To piggyback on what Tanika said, I would say the best thing that I've gotten from UCSD so far is the different connections that I've made through the different orgs. I did Summer Bridge. That's an incoming student program. You guys should check that out. But I would definitely say the connections that I've made through the different organizations, through the different staff that reach out to you or that you go reach out to, through the different students, even to some of the girls on my team would Skype me and help tutor me in chemistry if I was having trouble. Just really, the connections that I made here are really strong and beneficial.
Okay. Jomo?
Repeat the question.
Just why would someone come here? What would you say to someone
Right.
who's making the decision?
I mean, there are a lot of things that you will consider when you think about colleges, in terms of size, location, and I'll just speak a little bit about location. I mean, there are a couple of questions that we got from Detroit and Texas, so some out-of-state people. Obviously, there's a lot of wonderful things one can say about Southern California, and if you are going to come to Southern California, I will definitely say San Diego is definitely 10 times better than LA. But it's a great place to be if you're going to be in Southern California. And has been stated, I mean, UCSD has accomplished a lot for its short history, and there is indeed a lot of space here for you to make your mark and for you to help sort of develop a lot of the initiatives that are happening here. And I think, again, when you're thinking about universities, we are a large school in the sense, it's 30,000 plus students or so. And sometimes when you're thinking about a school that large, you might worry that you might get lost. But I think what others have been trying to emphasize here, there are a lot of different things that you can get involved in so that you don't feel so lost in the crowd and sea of people that are walking around campus or they're in your classes. So for example, even though you might have a lecture, be it a science lecture or one of the large history lectures that might be a few hundred people, most of those classes are going to have a TA, right? And which means that you're going to be broken down into a smaller section of about 20 students or so. And so you will get the opportunity to interact in a more closer environment with those students and with the graduate students. So it doesn't have to feel like, so big.
Okay, Joshua.
Everyone spoke so well on everything already, but I'll say academically, UCSD is the top school for all the fields. In the sciences and the social sciences, in the liberal arts, there's very good programs here at UCSD, and socially, so I don't get in trouble. If I'm comparing to other maybe UC schools, I haven't been to a lot, but my impression is that UCSD, the environment here is more friendly than maybe some of the other UC schools would be. And if you're from out of town, I mean, it's a great place to be, Southern California. Finally, in regards to the Black community, I think that there are a lot of efforts, primarily from the Black students at UCSD, to build a sense of community and build a sense of family. So you may not get that at other schools. In other schools, there may be a larger or smaller Black community, but they may not be as tight as what I've seen and experienced so far from UCSD.
Okay, as I mentioned, the hour will go by very quickly. We actually have 1 minute, so I want to just kind of wrap it up and talk to you if you're listening via the internet. I know you may have some individualized questions that pertain only to you. So our admissions officers are available Monday through Thursday from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and on Friday from noon until 4. And you can write this number down, 858-534-4831, 858-534-4831. Don't forget to check your My Application portal online to check for receipt of your documents. This is also where you can submit your Statement of Intent to Register, your SIR. So, choose to become a Triton. Choose to come to San Diego. Sometimes you wonder if the grass is greener on the other side. I can tell you the grass is greener on this side, and the palm trees are nicer. The beach is a couple of minutes away. The academics are superior. So we hope to see you here at UC San Diego. Make a decision that's good for you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Y'all were really fantastic. You know, you're geniuses. You're going to make a big impact on the world. You know, I'm here. This is where my office is. 4th floor in this building, a couple of doors down. If you need anything, you just want to talk to someone about something, you want some advice. I've probably taken a lot of the courses that you're taking or taught some of the courses that you're taking. And so, you know, come seek me out as other people can support.